Hey guys, how's it going? It is a beautiful morning out here. It's like one of the first mornings where the sun, like you can feel a lot of heat from it already, which is kind of refreshing. But we do have a great big windstorm heading our way this evening. So it's supposed to be like mid 70s today and our high tomorrow is in the high 50s. So when you see that much of a shift from one day to the next, we know we're gonna have some really gusty winds. So we're gonna try to get some planting in before that arrives. But before we go load up our gator with things to plant out in the garden, we are going to address this Pear Espalier finally. I think Aaron is on his way out here, and we're just going to talk through just a couple of the areas where it might make sense to put it. Some of you might remember this in its broken down raised bed. We had this behind our greenhouse, and this is an Asian pear. I cannot for the life of me remember. Shinseki, maybe? I think it's a Shinseki. It's a wonderful pear, and you can see that it is absolutely loaded with blooms right now. But we had it behind the greenhouse, and we moved it out here when we kind of tore out that whole area when we bought the property behind the greenhouse. You can see that there is one branch that needs to be pruned. So, well, and I don't even know if I would necessarily prune, like maybe prune this dead part off. This is all attached right here. So you could like clean these branches off and then use this as the training guide to keep this one going, which I think would work out great. And it's amazing to me how it has thrived in this space. So the couple of spots that I was thinking it would work is either right here. This is the east side of our orchard kind of fence here, like centering it and having it be right here. It'd get pretty much all day sun right until the very end. The other option, I thought maybe right behind the flower shed because we have a solid wall there. I was thinking through all the different options around here, and we have surprisingly few structures with blank walls to put something like this, which that kind of makes the most sense unless you're doing a kind of living fence sort of situation, which I don't have any spot that I want to do that in right now anyway. We're also going to clean this stuff up. So this concrete, this is the bottom of a fence section. We're just going to pop it over with the other concrete. This raised bed, I think Bethany might take this one home. We've got a nice crop of weeds growing in it right now. Very fresh and lush at the moment. But yeah, so I think she may take this one. And then we'll figure out what to do with this. Here comes Benjamin. He's a running. You know, while we're out here, we should probably take care of this climbing rose on the fence. See, it's things like this that I keep forgetting. It's already leafed out. I need to do some training with this one. Hey, bud. Feels good out here, huh? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to text Aaron, see where he's at. And while we're waiting, I will take after this climbing rose. Well, that worked out. We got the rose done, and here comes Aaron. That looks so much better. I just weaved a few of the branches in and out of the orchard fence here. You can see these are the boards that they're using to run the tractor on to deliver bricks, and this project isn't quite done yet, so these will stay until it's done. But the rose looks a heck of a lot better. Oh, okay.
What do you want to do with this thing?
Well, there was a couple of options. I think we've kind of talked through them before, but there's a surprising lack of solid walls around here to put things. But I was thinking like either right here along the orchard fence or on the back side of the flower shed where there's solid wall, I guess.
Okay, well, I don't have photos, I don't think, but I do know that there's a trench. Okay, so come around on this side.
Okay.
See that conduit right there that comes up?
Yeah.
And there's an electrical box down there. And I know that there's wire that comes, I don't know what trajectory, like it might be on this side of the fence, but I kind of thought it went like right here. And then there's another one, there's another electric, which I do have a photo of actually, that goes like this direction.
Okay.
Maybe like through here, and I don't know where it meets up here.
We'd have to dig a pretty dang, no matter where this goes, it needs to be a pretty dang big hole.
I'm just like, I can just imagine that it'll be like the locust situation where we dig a hole and it's like, oh, there's 2 conduits right where it needs to go.
Okay, well, what about behind the flower shed?
Well, it's the same problem.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we've got conduit that goes from that corner to the
Oh,
flower
yeah, there's
shed.
a box back there. That
Yeah,
makes
and then
sense.
there's also conduit that goes from this side over there as well. Because we ran, for some reason, it made more sense to do the like high voltage conduit from one way and the low voltage conduit from another way. I don't know why they decided to do that, but they did at the time, and it made sense.
Sure,
This
yeah.
was years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing is, we might have sprinkler lines right along the flower shed. So I don't even know where
the
those are.
odds for us.
The odds for us
are
are high
high.
that they'd be there. So we could start digging and like find out, but then you've kind of upset, I don't know, is it worth it?
Oh,
Does Bethany want it?
I guess that would be the other option, right? I know Bethany has mentioned, she said, hey, if you don't find a spot for that tree, I love those pears.
She's noticed it sitting here
Like,
for 3 years.
I can have it if you don't find a spot.
I feel like that'd be easier just to put it on a trailer because we can, if like, don't you think these are kind of like space dependent? Like you need to have the right spot
Yeah,
for it. And if you
sure.
don't, it's almost more of a, like a problem than a,
Yeah,
at
and
least
I feel
for me.
like
I feel like it's a problem in my life right now.
I think that's why it stayed in the box, because even if we had the right spot, we knew that it would require a pretty good size hole so that we didn't have to cut the heck out of the root system. And I know they've got a lot of space out there just to do that, like to dig a great big hole. You know?
Do you want to, like you want to put it up against something if you're going to
Yeah.
have one?
Yeah, I mean, that would be another option, is if we could find a spot that we wanted sort of a living fence thing going on, but I don't know that I want a fruit tree too far away. Like that was the beauty of having it in this space, is that all of our other fruit trees are in that area. So, you know, for treatment, like spraying and stuff like that, we're not all over the place.
Yeah.
I tend to miss things if they're not.
It doesn't smell good right now.
Well, pears don't when they bloom.
Ugh.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous. I mean,
Well, look, I'm happy to do whatever you want to do. If you want to like dig a hole somewhere, you know, we can try that. I'm like,
if you're tentative about it, I don't know. I feel, and Bethany would love to have it.
yeah,
Maybe that's the route we
just
go.
load it up on
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah, because you know, like Andrews has more of these. If we want to put one somewhere one day, we can get one with a much smaller root ball.
Yeah.
You guys, I think that might be the best option, because I think it will cause less upset to the tree itself as well if it can go somewhere where it can just like kind of be plopped down in a giant hole.
I don't really like this as a location anyway.
You don't?
No, I
Oh.
feel like that's just not right.
It's just like the
not
wrong spot.
It's not the right
Yeah.
location for it.
Yeah, every once in a while you run up against something like that where you just like, I do almost every year. I usually have like 1 or 2 things in the high tunnel that I'm like, I liked this at the garden center. I still like the plant, but I have no idea where I should put it, like the appropriate spot.
Do you feel bad getting rid of it or no?
Well, I mean, you gave it to me for a birthday
I
present.
don't even remember that.
You don't remember? See,
No.
he doesn't remember stuff like that.
When
And
did I do, like what year? How many years ago?
It was like a while ago. I mean, it was pre-Benjamin,
Was it?
I think.
I have no
think,
memory. Was it
right?
a lot smaller?
I don't even remember that. No, it's about the same basic size.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the trunk's a little bit thicker, but we've kept it pruned.
Well, I tell you what, as a gift to you, I will make it go away.
That sounds like a good solution, and it'll make Bethany really happy, which that's always a fun thing to me too. Okay, well, that makes our job a lot easier today. So let's get this stuff.
So that's it. Video's over.
No, I still have more stuff to plant. So yeah, we'll work on getting this stuff cleaned up then, so you can see what this corner looks like without a bunch of flim-flam.
I was putting the trampoline together with the kids back there.
You were?
They're having like a big time.
Oh, that's so fun. Is the hole, because Chad's digging the hole today, right?
I think he's going to dig the hole today. I don't know. It seemed like we're not going to put the whole trampoline together because it's only like this deep.
Yeah.
You dig the hole in the middle. But so it seemed like the instructions wanted you to put the frame together so that as you're digging the hole, you can like set the frame in the hole to just make sure that it's, you know,
Sure.
you've done the right size.
Yeah. It's going to be a super windy night.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Well, I won't put the thing on it. So
Oh.
it'll just be the frame.
sure.
The kids are going to be so disappointed when they see that it's just the frame that we're putting together right now.
Oh, they'll be good. They'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so I guess we know what to do here. So let's just get after this, get this kind of slicked up, and then I can plant. Do you want me to take you to the Bobcat?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back here.
Uh-huh. Hallelujah, this area is finally clean. Oh my goodness. One of those things that I kind of wish I would have just figured it out earlier, but you know, such is life. With the extra soil that was left over, it wasn't worth bringing the tractor back just to get that little bit, so we just kind of feathered it out. And we are still going to be doing a full mulch of the south garden next week, I think. So all of this will get covered over, but it just looks so good not to have the mess. Just the clutter here that was completely unnecessary. And it allows us to see what kind of space we have here, because I could put like a 9-bark in here, or maybe some hydrangeas, just some real pretty stuff. I'm excited about it. And I was noticing, which I didn't notice before, that the chokecherry is coming into bloom, and it is so pretty. Look at this. I mean, they are they sucker all over the place, so that's something to keep in mind. Chokecherries and crab apples, both, but it grows really fast and they have beautiful flowers. And I love this one, it has 5 trunks. So I think in the wintertime, it's got a really beautiful structure. And Benjamin over there is looking at the Kwanzaa cherry, which we have more blooms open since the last time we looked. Do you love those? Do they smell good?
They don't smell like anything.
They don't smell like anything? I didn't know if they would or not. But yeah, these are just absolutely beautiful. You can smell a little bit?
Tiny scent.
Nice.
Tiny itty bitty scent.
All right, well, we got the climbing rows done, got the boxes moved. Bethany's gonna get herself a beautiful espalier. And I did cut back a buddleia. I didn't show that, but I had one extra buddleia that I missed when we were out here pruning those the other day, so I got that handled. So now we can go load up with some fun things to put in the ground. All right, so I was heading back to the high tunnel to load up a couple of things, and I was driving by this area and just decided, you know what? We've got to move this Maximilian sunflower. We've got to get after it before it gets any bigger than it is. So for those of you who have been watching our videos for a while, you know that we've got this big old patch right here of Maximilian sunflower. And they are a beautiful, tough, huge perennial plant that we cut back to the ground every year. But this space has changed quite a lot since we moved in. In fact, if I stand right here looking toward the lawn, there used to be a picket fence, a white picket fence that went right here. And this was our original property, and this was raw pasture. And we were able to buy this at one point, but there was a lane, like our driveway came through here. But when the picket fence was here, it was perfect because the Maximilian sunflower grew up and it sort of leaned on the fence. The fence kind of held it up. But since that fence has gone and we've planted other things, it just doesn't fit up here very well. But it's a beautiful perennial that I want to save. So I'd like to transplant it out to the dirt land somewhere where it can be its big self. Because this thing, you guys, will grow like 8+ feet tall. It's just massive. But they bloom really late in the season, like I want to say September, October, and they're bright yellow. They look like little sunflowers. Really pretty plant, but it just doesn't fit in this space anymore. And I meant to do it last year because we planted this Jubilee Weeping Alaskan Cedar early on in the season, and it was fine. I kept checking on it to make sure that nothing was laying on top of the evergreen, and nothing ever was, but it's still blocking light and all of that from our evergreen tree, and I don't want that. Plus, it's a bit of a wild looking perennial, and I want this space just to be a tiny bit more kept, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. I mean, we keep up on this space no matter what's in here for the most part, but we're really close to the formal Persephone garden, and I sort of want to reflect that feel in this space a little bit. So instead of putting it off again this year, we're just going to tackle this and get it done. I have no idea what the roots are going to be like of this thing, but I'm going to try to get as big of a root ball as I can for each section. I'm going to be taking this out in pieces, not the whole thing, obviously. At the same time, I wouldn't be able to carry that. It's probably like 6 feet from this side to this side. Yeah, it's probably a 6-foot square-ish. So we'll get several pieces out of it. All right, we actually have other things to move too. We've still got echinacea and yarrow out in the formal flower garden, and I need to move the at-last roses from up in front of the house one of these days. Not today. We're just gonna do one transplanting project today. Found the tag. Helianthus Maximiliani, lemon yellow sunflower. Zone 4 through 9. My goodness, we've almost got it done, but these two pieces right here, we've got more in the gator, but these two do not want to divide. Like, I cannot get a shovel to get in here and cut anything. So I could either take a saw and cut them apart, or I could call Aaron, which I've already done, to come and help me lift these into the gator, and I'd much rather plant them in large pieces anyway. And this is what we've already got in the back of the gator. And this piece is pretty good size right here. And I was able to manage this one in. And then I've got like 5 smaller pieces right here. And it'll be fun because some of the Russian sage made it in with these pieces. Like you can see right in here and right in there. And it's the older variety of Russian sage that gets pretty tall, but it's not quite as tall as the Maximilian sunflower. So it's a really pretty mix. So that'll be great. That works. Do we want it on this side or that side?
On the east side and on the west side.
It's doing it. Perfect.
Everybody's doing it, picking their nose in, chewing it.
It's like right there. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, how about that?
That's perfect. That's handy.
Yeah.
Oh, this one isn't quite as heavy. I mean, it's not light. Look at that.
Ah.
Oh. Almost. We still need to go back and kind of clean up the area where we dug this out, but they're moved. It's done. They're planted and watered in. And look at how much space they have. I think they're going to be happy out here. They're going to get lots and lots of sun, and they won't be in the way of any other plants. I think it's going to be great. And we got the bonus few tulips out here as well. They're not super happy with me for moving them, but they'll be all right. And the breeze is starting to pick up. We're getting like bigger gusts as we approach the afternoon here. So I think what we're gonna do is run back and just kind of clean up our area where we just dug these out. And then I wanna go grab a few hostas out of the high tunnel, the Gigantosaurus, the ones that get massive. And I think I'd like to plant those underneath the Leyland cypress that I trimmed up earlier this season. I think those would look really good right there. All right, that's done. That's looking a little bit better. Just kind of spread out the soil a little bit. We'll have to bring in a little bit more, but again, we're gonna be mulching this area, so I'm not super stressed about it. I do think we're gonna reduce the amount of drip now that this is going into its second year around this cedar. So I left that exposed, and now we can start thinking about what we wanna put in this space to fill it in. It's very exciting. All right, let's go grab our hostas. You found the missing piece?
Well, there was a bunch of them. I found all these.
Okay, good. So that's the frame, huh?
Yeah, see how it's so short?
Yeah, it is short. I don't know why I was expecting them just to be legs. Like, I didn't expect another round, you know, like all the round pieces.
Yeah. So, and then this goes around the outside of it
Uh-huh.
to keep dirt from
Sure.
getting in.
Uh-huh.
But essentially you dig a hole to where it goes down 9 inches, I think. And then there's a shelf of about 10 inches.
For the springs.
And then, well, I mean a shelf of dirt.
Right,
But
I know,
this-
but that's like where the springs will sit.
Yeah, the springs will come out.
Uh-huh.
And then this will go around the exterior of it.
I'm glad we got a 15-footer. I mean, it doesn't seem like overly large.
You know,
Seems
I
normal.
noticed that they sold bigger ones.
Do they?
This looked like it was the largest size.
Oh, do they have bigger ones?
Well, I don't know. You know what? I got it from trampolines.com.
I think it looks great. I mean, I don't think I would want a bigger one,
Yeah.
but I mean, this kind of looks normal to me. Yeah.
Maybe there's other websites that are better. I don't know.
It might be like when there's the frame of the house up though, and you're like, that's kind of small. And then you get the walls up and you think, oh no, this is really big. Maybe it's the same kind of deal. Okay, I'm gonna leave you to it. I'm gonna go plant.
Okay.
All right, so we've got the Gigantosaurus hostas. I'm so excited to plant these. I think they're gonna be great underneath here. So they get rather large, like 30 to 32 inches tall, and they spread out 78 inches. That's 6.5 feet, right? Anyway, wide. So I think if we kind of space them out in here, 1, 2, 3, and just let them be the stars of the show in this flower bed, it's gonna be perfect. So we're in the afternoon right now, and you can see this area is completely in the shade. They will get some morning sun, which I think will be fine. Our other hostas that get a bit more sun in the morning tend to do okay. I think it's just making sure that they're protected in the afternoon and evening. It's like the most important thing. And then we are gonna run, like this area has a little bit of drip around the Leyland cypress, but we're gonna run a little bit extra just right around the root balls of these plants because I've been told by the growers that this type of hosta that wants to get absolutely massive, like your Empress Woos and your Woo-La-Las, they need quite a lot of moisture in order to do that. They don't want to sit in moisture, but they need consistent moisture coming to them and soil that drains it out. So, but I've also been told too that hostas can live in a pond sort of situation. In fact, Brian, when he put in our initial aquascape pondless waterfall, he took a hosta out of the container, took all the soil off the roots and wrapped it in kind of like some landscape sort of material, and then tucked it down in the rocks in the pond. And he said that hostas do great that way. So I don't know. Interesting. I love these. I love hostas just in general. But if we do one like here, and here, and here. I need to space them a little bit differently, but I kind of wanted this one to be lined up with the tree, and we can do other things up underneath there, I think. Super pretty. I don't know what the digging is going to be like in this area, but let's get it done. Lots of worms under here. I love how these look in here, and I hope that they love it too. I really want them to get to their full size. That, I mean, would be ideal, but even if they got close to it, that would be awesome. Now we still have some space in here. I decided to go grab The Sound of Music, which is another new one, and it's another big one. Wouldn't it be pretty to tuck these in as well. So these grow the same height as the Gigantosaurus, which is perfect. So we could have like a big bank of kind of the same statured plant. So this one's called Sound of Music. And the coloring here is sort of a reverse of what we have here. So instead of having the yellow on the margins, like the Gigantosaurus, Sound of Music has the yellow or the chartreuse in the center and has the darker color as the margin. So I think if we went like 1, 2, 3 and just packed this area out with hostas, I think that would just be so neat looking. So like right in there, right here, and then one tucked back up in here. Oh, I think I'm gonna love this. Okay, let's get these in. This is a little difficult. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness, yes. I don't often have a perfect location for hostas, so I have to take full advantage when I finally do. Now, I feel like I could tuck one more hosta, maybe a different variety here, and maybe like a little one here or a little grouping of little ones, or some kind of ground cover or something like that. But I just think it's so pretty right in here. And I love the fact that we've got iris right down the way. We've got a lilac right up above. Oh, it's just a pretty spot. It's just very peaceful. I've got one more thing that I need to do today before it starts getting windier this evening. It kind of died down this afternoon, which has been so wonderful, but I need to go stake those new echinacea we just planted. You know, I initially planted them and they were great, and then we had wind the very next day, and those plants were not very rooted into their container, so the wind wanted to just pop them straight up out of the soil. In fact, a couple of them I thought, oh, I hope you survive. So I don't want that to happen further, so we're gonna go stake them up so that tonight's wind doesn't do the same thing. Okay, here they are. So you can see like on this one right here, it's just like it's not very tight in the soil. Neither I don't think is this one. Yeah, this one's really loose. Right there, look at that. That's no good. And I think this is one of the ones that was almost disconnected, and I just piled a bunch of soil around it. So I'm gonna use some of these green bamboo stakes and a little bit of this soft wire tie to do the job. So what we'll do is just drive the stake in somewhat close to the center of the plant. I gotta get my Felcos, hang on. I did some random shrub pruning along the way today. Here we go. Cut a little piece of this. Then I'm just gonna attach the main stem to the stake, like so. That way the wind can come, it can blow this plant around, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of these now. That is so much better. Oh my goodness, that makes me feel so much more comfortable. I just knew with the wind this evening, I would just be thinking about these poor little plants, and I'm not worried for their bloom stalks. Like, I could cut them off, honestly, and just let the plant root in, but I'm more worried about the plant just uprooting because of all the top growth. It's just too top heavy at the moment. So this is the best of both worlds. We'll get the plants to root in, because they won't be rocked around so much, and we get to still enjoy the blooms that they currently have and that they are currently forming. Also, we have to take a look at these Lady Janes. Oh, look at these tulips. Aren't they gorgeous? I just absolutely love these. So the outside is pink with the white margin and the inside is white. So at night, these close up super tight. They look like complete like points, like spears, and they look very vibrant pink. But during the day, they open up and look a little bit softer with that white addition. You don't see much of the white in the evening and early morning. But these are a species tulip, like a specialty tulip, and they naturalize beautifully. And we don't lose them like we do some of the bigger type tulips. And I don't know why, but I planted them in kind of like this swoopy sort of pattern. I was getting fancy, I guess. But you guys, that is going to do it for today's projects. Super happy to have the Espalier pear going to Bethany's house where she has the right spot for it and she really enjoys the fruit, like really enjoys it. And she even came to me this spring and she said, you know, if you don't find the right spot for it, like, no pressure, but I love that pear tree. So this is just the perfect solution, I think. And having that area cleaned up is just so nice. Having hostas in is wonderful. The Maximilian sunflower moved is great. And then, of course, just doing the little maintenance things like staking, which I'm not usually that great at. Feels good to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching today. The wind is starting to pick up as we speak. I just checked the weather forecast and it does look like we're still in for it tonight. So we'll see. We'll see how things fare tonight. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and we will see you in the next one. Bye.